Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank you all for attending this evening. I know it is so close to the holidays right now that you really had to make a note of tonight and really make a special effort to be here. And I want you to know how much I appreciate that I'm seeing so many faces here with me this evening. You guys are just absolutely wonderful, awesome. And I want to wish everyone here the happiest of holiday seasons this 2019. So let's get started with our December Psychic Hour. As you can see, I'm getting a little more creative with putting my little ads all over my screen here. And if you'll bear with me just for a moment, I'd like to go over some of the things that I have here. For those of you who don't receive the newsletter or don't follow along, I'll make this fast, but there's a lot going on, and I just don't want you to miss it. First of all, anyone who's in my VIP, your next Q&A question and answer is January 9th. So just make a note of that on your calendars. And everybody, please make a note that our next Psychic Hour is going to be January 5th of 2020. You know, it almost feels strange to say that, doesn't it, 2020? But this year is almost done, almost. Wow, this is exciting. So on that note, I'm going to shift over to the other side of my diagram here. My next Psychic Development series is going to be beginning in January 2020 on the 22nd. I don't know how many of you here are interested in developing your own psychic abilities, but I just do really want to remind you that I only do this class right now once a year. I only teach online. This class includes the entire, there are 6 sessions or 6 levels in the series, plus Seeing Beyond the Veil. You get the pre-recordings of all of those classes. Each class is about 12 hours of tape, so there's a tremendous amount of information that you receive in that. You also get a 2-hour per session webinar where I'm going over the highlights of each one of those classes. There are 3 webinars per level, so there's a lot of webinars. In addition to that, you get to join the Facebook group, so there's a lot of interaction with your other students. You have a partner to work with all the way through. And you also meet with me once a week, where we actually do a Q&A and go over all of the things that you're working on and really drill down deeply into what you're learning. So it's an absolutely phenomenal program. I've had great success with it. And it begins on the 22nd. Here's the thing. My launch for the program doesn't start until after Christmas. But right now, I've got it up on my website with an early enrollment discount that is unbelievable. Right off the top, you get $100 off. You also get the Evolution of Consciousness video series thrown in with it and a couple of other wonderful bonuses. And in addition, you're going to get, throughout the series, 2 half-an-hour coaching sessions with me that you can take at any point during the session or during the series, and that's going to be one-on-one coaching in terms of your own psychic development. You just can't get better than that. So I'm throwing in, what I'm saying is enough bonuses there that you're actually getting more than one full class free by doing the early registration. And you can either register for the entire 6 sessions or just for 3 sessions and then go back and do another 3 sessions later. We have all kinds of options there for you. The thing is, if psychic development in 2020 is on your budget and it's on your list of things you want to do, well, guess what? Now is the time to register. And you can do that just by going to my website, which you can see up here is www.sandyanastasia.com. So much for that. Now, also things you're going to want to write down. I think I see a couple of names here on our list who are signed up for our psychic development, or pardon me, psychic cruise for 2020. Folks, that cruise is on April 18th through 23rd. It's going to be absolutely amazing. If you love cruising, if you love psychic things, if you want to rub shoulders with a bunch of psychics, if you want to go and visit a haunted house and talk about it and experience it and explore it, well, join me on that cruise. You get to spend real time, day and night. We party, we have fun on that cruise. And here's the venture. If you want to be part, I mean, you can register for the cruise right up until the day before it sails. But to get a guarantee that you can be part of my group, you've got to sign up through my website. And I think, Lisa, correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I think that you need to sign up and be paid in full by January 18th to absolutely guarantee that you can be part of that group, eating dinner together, et cetera, et cetera. So just put that in the back of your mind if that's important to you. Okay, I also want to talk to you about another thing here. Switching back to the other side, I now have gift certificates available. So if you have some last minute Christmas presents and you know some friends who love everything psychic, astrological, tarot, or everything else that I've got on my website, or just likes to get readings, this is a great way. And the gift certificates range between $25 and $100. So it's up to you what you want to gift. They're easy, they're quick, and they're really, really special. Also, I don't have it here, but you'll want to make a note. My website now has an app. So make sure you get that app downloaded, especially if you own a course or two, because you can access every single thing that's on the website right on your smartphone using the app. It's really, really convenient. I've got it myself and it works just great. Now, also, this is big. Everything on my website is 20% off between now and December 31st. So that includes everything, readings, etc., classes, anything, except for the specials that are right on my homepage. And among those specials is a webinar I'm doing that is going to be on December 19th. And guess what? If you purchase anything on the website, you're going to get that webinar for free. For those of you who just want to buy the webinar, it's $20, so it's not exactly expensive. But I'm going to be going over what's coming in 2020. And that's what's coming for you individually by sign, what's coming for the United States, what's coming for the world, what's coming for literally our own evolution, geographically, by weather, geocosmically, aliens, you name it. We're going to talk about it. Guess what? It's going to be an absolute blast. I have no idea what I'm going to say because I will be in channel that night and I'll be working with a chart similar to this one, only will be for January of 2020. And my guides are going to be coming through and they're going to be hitting information that we will need to be aware of in order to make the best of our 2020 year. So I think I've covered everything I wanted to announce to you. There was a lot of stuff. There's a lot going on because, you know, it's the end of the year. Okay. And by all means, folks, do make sure if you're not on my newsletter that you do get my newsletter because another thing that I do in January is I always give an overview in writing and also on little videos of what's going on for each sign each month of the year, and also an overview of January. Just that 1 month. So if you want to make sure you get your astrological overviews in a nice detailed little blip that my guides are so famous for, get on my newsletter and you'll be sure to get that. And of course, check out my YouTube channel because they're always there too. Okay, let's get on with tonight's. I did that pretty fast. Good. Let's get on with tonight's session. What you see here on your screen is called a horary chart, folks. As my guides are astrologers, they're going to use this chart, which is called a horary chart because it's a throwaway chart. It talks about every single thing that you guys who are on this call with me tonight are going through right now. So it is going to be able to answer all of your questions. And guess what? At the end of the hour, we throw it away because it's only good for you for your questions tonight. Okay? And always, I tell my folks who come to me this evening, and I do see some new faces and names here, so please be aware. If you don't get called on to ask a question this evening, I always give people a chance to ask me a question in writing afterwards. So if you don't get called on this evening, and of course you must be physically here to be able to qualify for this, send me one short little question, and somewhere over the next week or so, I will answer that question for you. One short little question, and there's no charge for that. That's just to say thank you for being here and for following me. I appreciate that, and I'm so glad to help if I can. Now, here's what you're going to do when you get called on. And again, this is for everyone, just as a reminder, but also for those people who are new specifically. I'm going to need your name, just your first name, not your last, your first name, the place you're calling from, and that's for fun because we get people from all over the world, and it is just a joy to find out where you're coming from. I'm going to also want to know what you are most grateful for right now, tonight, in your life. And then I want to know your sun sign. Because you see, using this Horary chart, armed with your sun sign, I can give you pretty specific information about what's going on in your life right now and what's coming up. And also, as my guides give that information, they're also going to be sharing information for everyone else on the call. So especially if you're new, please be aware, even if it's not you whose question's being answered, your question may get answered in the context of someone else's. So please pay attention to all of the things that my guides are saying, because they know you're here and they're going to be answering you even if you're not the one who directly asked the question. And that's one of the beauties also of working with my guides who are astrologers who basically can do this by looking at this chart. And once we do that, I'm going to want your specific question for yourself. So, your name, where you're from, what you're most grateful for, your sun sign, and your specific question. 5 bits of information. Lisa, I'm ready. Who's our next or our first victim this evening?
Well, first, I do want to remind everybody that if you would like to speak with Sandy live on the call tonight, please raise your little hand icon, because that's how I call on people. As those icons come up, if I see someone who's never gotten to speak with Sandy before, then I'm going to try to give you a call so you have a chance to do that. Now, with that being said, because the hands are a little slow going up, I'm actually going to do a little something different today, and I'm going to read one off, which is not something I normally do. But I do have information here, and the person is here. Carlene, I will be unmuting you as soon as I read this for Sandy. Okay, it says, "Hi, Sandy. I went to you for readings over 35 years ago in Bayshore, New York. Very helpful when I was going through a tough time. Since we both moved to Florida, I've had telephone readings with you through the years. A few years ago, you told me to step back from the situation, and that was good advice considering it was too stressful and did lead to health problems for me. My question is, I've conquered 2 major health problems over the past 2 years. I'm on the mend, but have a decision to make regarding that last issue. My instinct is telling me to go one way, opposite of what a doctor is recommending. Can I trust my instinct? I'm not good at tapping into my guides, so I don't know what they might advise. Any insight would be appreciated." Now I'm going to unmute Carlene. Carlene,
Hi.
you're unmuted.
Hello,
Hi,
Colleen. Hey, it's
How are
great to speak with you.
Same here.
And thanks for being on the call this evening.
Thank
Colleen,
you for having me.
where are you from now? Still Florida?
I'm in Florida in the Melbourne area.
Oh, that's beautiful there. Very beautiful. And Carlene, what's your
Yeah.
sun sign?
Virgo.
Okay. Armed with that, I can find you on the chart. By the way, for those of you who are unaware, Virgo is the sign which is born to either be a healer or deal with health issues. How do you like that? Carlene, I don't know what you did when you were working, but since Virgo falls, this is 25 degrees Virgo here. Most of the second house is Virgo. So you're somebody who could really have earned your living in the health field. Just out of curiosity, what did you do when you were working?
House maintenance work. I was a writer, editor, communications kind of things.
Okay, it's interesting. The house maintenance work fits right into Virgo because Virgo's about service, health and service. But there are 30 degrees in a sign. This last 5 degrees is in the house of writing. Third house is writing. So you actually do hit both of these, which is kind of cool. Carlene, I want to point something out, and this is why I really kind of perked my ears up when Lisa read your question. I want to give you a pat on the back for recognizing that somehow what the doctor is telling you isn't feeling right inside and paying that attention. Let me show you what's going on here. And folks, if you are a Virgo, this is going to be happening for you too. This planet across the chart, okay, on the opposite side, is called Neptune. Neptune is always involved when instincts are being triggered. And here's the problem, is that right now, if you're a Pisces, that's what this sign is, these funny little fish swimming opposite directions, or a Gemini, or a Sagittarius, or a Virgo, one of those 4 signs, you are, number one, having difficulty seeing things clearly in your life just in general. People keep letting you down in this very surprising way that keeps feeling like it's astonishing. Okay, like where'd that come from kind of stuff. Also, when it comes to things medical, you are having difficulty getting diagnosed. And Neptune is creating that habit for all 4 of those signs. And I want to compliment you, Carlene, for intuitively recognizing that somehow this doesn't feel quite right. So how do you deal with a Neptune transit? Neptune is so slow. Folks, you've got another 15 years of this going through your sign. This is a slow mover. Now, you have to learn to get in touch with your intuition. And Carlene, you've already taken the first step. You're paying attention to that little voice in your head that says, something doesn't feel good about this. So what do you do about it? The first thing you do, number one, is you get a second opinion. Lisa, could you mute Carlene up just for a minute? We're getting a lot of feedback between the 2 mics being, okay, and we'll unmute you as soon as I'm done talking, but I know that feedback is hard for people to listen to. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get at least 1, but preferably 2 second opinions before you go ahead with that procedure. Now, believe me, if the doctor's worth his salt, he is not going to be concerned with your getting a second opinion. As a matter of fact, he'll be grateful that you did because he'll recognize that you're not real comfortable with what he's suggesting. That's number 1. Number 2, you need to start to realize that right now, and girl, guess what? For the next 15 years, you are going to be your own best source when it comes to diagnosing yourself. So if you feel like you've got a toothache and you go to the doctor and you say, I've got a toothache, and the doctor says, nothing's showing up here on the x-ray, let's send you to the sinus doctor instead. You need to say to him, doc, I really think it's a toothache. Let me come back in 3 days and you can redo the x-ray, i.e. stick to your guns, okay? Because what you feel is going on is the thing that's going to be going on. And it's important for you to get a connection to a medical doctor because, frankly, we really need these guys. They have the skills, they have the equipment, they have the drugs. So we do need them. We just need them to also pay attention to us. And so the next time that you go to the doctor, you need to recognize, is this a doctor who listens to you or not? And if this is a doctor who merely goes by blood tests and doesn't listen to you, then you need to hunt for a new doctor who does. Okay? Now, let's unmute Carlene and see what she has to say. And I'm going to give you a little bit more information about the health issues itself. But what do you think about that, Carlene?
already got a second opinion in the works.
Good girl. I told you, you're really plugged in. You're doing well. This is exciting.
When you say I should be in the medical field, I feel like I am with all that I've researched and done in the last couple of years. You have to be your own best advocate. You really do.
Yes, you do. And especially, I believe, Carlene, that that's true for all of us, everyone on this call, everyone in the world. We have to be self-responsible in every respect, and it really needs to start with our health condition, the way we feel physically. That's where everything really starts from. So we have to pay attention to ourselves, and we have to be responsible for taking care of ourselves. But when you've got a Neptune transit, that is emphasized up the kazoo, okay? Because if you're not paying attention, this little guy is going to give you one infection after another. He is going to mess with your body fluids. He's going to give you hormonal problems. He's going to give you 5 symptoms that look like you've got a toothache when you really have the flu. It's absolutely amazing what this planet's going to do to the medical doctor who's trying to diagnose you. But if you get in touch with yourself before you ever get involved with all that medical garbage and you say, man, this feels like blah, guess what? You're going to put your finger right on it. And then you go to the doctor and you say, hey, doc, I think I might have this. He says, you don't look like it. Because you see, Neptune always covers your symptoms. You don't look like that at all. Let me run a blood test. And you say, well, make sure you include the blood test for this thing I think I have. And he'll look at you like you're crazy. And you'll say, just do it. And as long as you have a doctor who will work with you, you're going to start getting healthier and healthier and healthier. Because you will always be able to put your finger on what's wrong. Trust it. Isn't it interesting? Where Neptune covers your symptoms for everybody else, when you start to pay attention, it elevates your intuition. It's exactly the opposite. So it's going to help you to work on yourself, but it's going to hinder everybody else to do it, which is why the second and third opinion, especially if it doesn't agree with your intuitive feeling of what's going on. So just looking at the chart in general, and folks, this is going to be for everyone. I have a feeling we've got a lot of health problems going to be coming out in tonight's questions, which is interesting. This is close to the holidays. That kind of makes me feel a little sad for people. Because all these planets, this is Pluto, Saturn, Venus, the South Node, Jupiter, they're all here in the house of health. And since Capricorn is the sign they're all in, this says, folks, you got to be self-responsible. You got to look after yourself. You got to take charge. And if your concern is somebody you're living with or someone who's your family member, well, you have to be the one who takes charge of that too. And basically give terms. This is how this is going to get handled if I'm going to be involved. Okay? I can go on and on about that because I think we're going to get more questions on that. Meanwhile, though, this could have the Capricorn tends to bring in things because it's Saturn rules it, tends to bring in things that have to do with bones. Okay? But Neptune brings always, and Neptune's involved with this because you're a Virgo, Neptune brings in things that have to do with body fluids, with hormones, with any kind of infectious diseases. Okay? So what is the thing, Carlene, that you're specifically concerned about?
Cancer. I've had it twice.
Okay. And what is your instinct telling you?
Well, I had surgery the first time. I had surgery the second time, which wasn't too long ago. And they want to do radiation this time, and it just doesn't feel right. I did it the first time, radiation chemo. This time it just doesn't feel right.
Well,
I think it's overkill.
Yeah.
It wasn't a very serious diagnosis. They did the operation. I'm clear of cancer, and I just think that the radiation is overkill, and I don't want to cause another problem with radiation because I've had a lot.
Yeah, get your second and even your third opinion, okay? And don't restrict yourself to going just to the, I don't know what you call the names of the doctor, but the cancer doctor or the chemotherapy doctor. Also go to a homeopath. Make that your third opinion.
Okay. Okay.
Neptune, interestingly enough, Neptune rules chemotherapy because Neptune rules chemicals. Neptune is the planet you find in the laboratory. Okay? And this is why when
Uh-huh.
Neptune's involved, it throws off your entire body, which you know because if you go through any kind of cancer treatment, especially chemotherapy, what chemotherapy does is it kills off all of the body's fast growing cells, not just cancer. And so,
Right.
unfortunately, what chemotherapy does is it allows all of the bad bacteria, including yeast that can become candida, to flourish, and that can produce secondary infections. So your intuition is saying, I've already been through too much. To do this makes me more susceptible to those secondary infections. And if I have symptoms that are bothering me, oh my, it might actually be one of those secondary infections. Let's look at that.
Right.
And you are right on to take charge of your own healing. Okay? I would get those third opinions and spread them around the different groups of doctors and then make your own mind up about what you think you should be doing and what you're willing to do.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you.
Hey, much luck to you. It's good to hear from you again.
Thank you.
You're welcome. By the way, my guides say you don't have cancer again. Now, they're not 100% right. Okay? Remember that. But they're pretty darn good. They say you don't have it. Okay? Okay. Lisa, who's our next victim? That's a
All
hard
righty. Look out, Lynn. Here we come. Lynn, it says you're self-muted. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes.
Hello there, Lynn. So, Lynn,
Hello,
where are you calling from?
Milwaukee.
Oh, neat. It's cold up there right now.
Yes.
Really
Yes.
cold. You dress warm over this next week, girl.
Yes.
And what are you most grateful for in life right now?
Being on this call, thank you.
Oh, thank you. We all know that. I want what else? Well, let's hear the other thing.
Pretty much everything. Everything is really I'm in a really, really wonderful spot right now. And I too am a Virgo.
Cool. I love it. And so you've got all of these same kinds of things going on, but hopefully not involving cancer. For you, it's somebody else.
No, I'm healthy as can be and life is good. And I don't really have maybe not a question, but I feel like my vibration and my connection is rising, and I wanted to say that to you.
Thank you. Thank you. And that, by the way, you know, I'm gonna talk about Neptune a little bit here.
I'm gonna unmute it then. Should I do it or do I let?
No, you're okay. I don't think
Okay.
we need feedback from
Okay.
you. Lisa will let you know if we do.
Okay.
You know, this interesting little planet, it's affecting you guys and also the Geminis and the Sagittarians and the Pisces so dramatically right now, and yet it's so subtle, okay? When you're dealing with the earthy level, Neptune isn't so happy. So it does all the things that we were talking about with my last caller, where, you know, we've got these health issues that are hard to put your finger on, and it's being disillusioned by so many people that you thought you could believe in, and blah, 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 blah. That's what Neptune does on the lower level. But while it's making you let go of all of your preconceptions, doesn't it? Okay.
Yes.
You already went through that part of Neptune. Your sun must be earlier. So when it's making you let go of all those things that you were hurting yourself by believing and following, it's freeing you to experience the spiritual side of yourself, which is what you're opening to. Folks, I've got I experienced this transit myself, the exact same transit you're having. And that is the thing that launched my career as a psychic. Don't you get excited about that?
Yes.
I was 27 years old. I didn't even think I was psychic at that point. I always had been, but I didn't think of myself as psychic. And I was a safety engineer, and lo and behold, the lid blew off, and from one minute to the next, I was like, oh my God, there's this whole world out there I didn't know existed. Neptune did that for me. So all the skills and all the abilities, all the the things I can do right now, the things I was able to do back then between like 27 years old and 30 were even bigger than the things I can do now. It just went all at once. Here's the thing. You and all of the other Pisces, Virgos, Gemini, Sagittarians on the call are getting that opportunity right now. So Neptune has the ability to open all those psychic senses. It has the ability to get you to see a universe that's far, far vaster than you could ever have imagined a mere 5 years ago. Okay? And I've got to tell you, the sky's the limit. It's really up to you how far you want to go with this. And remember also that you have to trust your intuition. It's all about self-trust here. Not trusting Sandy Anastasi or Lisa Freeman or any other psychic or religious benefactor that you know. It's about self-trust. That has to be your foundation, self-trust, because that's the person you're developing. You're developing yourself. Now, do you have a specific question relative to that? I think it's where we're going is a wonderful direction here.
Thank you. Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm trying to figure out where I want to start. I mean, I do yoga. I practice a lot. I'm going to be teaching meditations. I'm already there, but now I just want to go to the next level. So I'll probably be looking up your website.
You know what the thing, and not like me for saying this, but I think the thing that's bothering you underneath is that there still is a need to earn a living and to make money.
Yes, I have a good job.
Right. But see, right now, you're at the point where you're saying, well, this is the world I want to be in. This is the thing that I want to do with my life. This is my calling. You see what I'm saying? That's
yes.
That point. And how do I give up my good job for that? Okay. I want you to know that I gave up my safety engineer job back then when I was 27 years old having this transit and went into being a full-time psychic. And it was a challenge. But you want to know something? Here I am, 40 years later. Okay. It obviously worked. Okay. So the thing is, it's doable. But I see that as, you know, yes, things are good and you're in exactly the right place you need to be in right now. You are tuned in. My guides say there's a really powerful benefactor around you, which is really cool. And I'm getting like 2 people, one of them who's a great support system for you. And that's not just financially, that's also in an emotional sense. And then there's another one, I think they're both men. And the other one is somebody who is really he's the person who gives you direction. And it's not somebody who is, wow, I'm the guru, you follow me. It's not that. This is somebody who says, you know what you should do? You know what you're really good at? Oh, don't be afraid of that. It's that kind of support. And I don't know if he's in your field that you work in right now or if he's a family member, but he has that kind of help and guidance that he gives to you. And I don't think it's the same person. I think it's 2 different people. You also need to recognize that whatever it is you choose to do career-wise in the future, whether it is to have a dual career or to stay in the career that you are in, or maybe to retire from that one and move into being a full-time yoga teacher or psychic or whatever it is you're going to be in the future, I can tell you, you'll always be able to earn your living with it. And you also are a natural psychic channel. And I think you already recognize that through the yoga work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hope that helped.
Yes.
Good luck to you. And
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful holiday season. And Lisa, who's our next person?
Well, her hand was up and then it was down, but I'm going to call on her anyway. Susan, I'm coming after you. And it says you're self-muted. Can you unmute, Susan?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Susan. Hello.
Hi,
So where are you calling from?
I am calling from Canada.
Oh my, what part of Canada? How cold is it?
It's cold. I'm calling from Ontario, so just outside of Toronto.
Not too bad then. Okay.
No, not too bad. We're supposed to have some warm weather tomorrow.
Yeah, good. Just in preparation for that cold front coming in, but that's good.
Exactly.
And you guys know how to handle it. Yeah, that's good.
We do.
Yep.
We do.
And what are you most grateful for in your life right now?
I think I'm most grateful right now for my family.
Yeah, I had a feeling. And what's your sun sign?
My sun sign is Pisces.
Ah, I'm going to laugh. We're going from the Virgos across the chart to the Pisces. So you know that planet I've been talking about, that good old Neptune, that
Yeah.
giving everybody this, like on the lower level, kind of a punch in the gut, and on the upper level, this wow. Okay, well, you're getting them both. And what's kind of neat here is that since you are a Pisces, I don't know if you're aware of this, Neptune is one of your ruling planets. Isn't that cool? Your other,
Yeah, I was.
yeah, and your other ruling planet is Jupiter, and Jupiter is really well placed in this chart. So it's in a Virgo house. So both of these planets are kind of giving you a workout right now, but I think it's in a positive way. Although sometimes you got to go over the hurdles to get to the good stuff too. So the thing I want to make mention of most, I think you're going to probably have a lot of financial issues on the mind right now, and also what do I want to be when I grow up kind of stuff. And of course, you know this already, but you know that I'm going to say you need to follow your intuition.
Okay.
And I'm going to quote Abraham Hicks. That's Esther Hicks channels this group of spirits called Abraham. I love them. They're great. And to quote her, she says, always move in the direction of relief, i.e.,
Okay.
if you take if you take that step to where it feels a little bit better, and then another step to where things feel a little bit better, before long, you're running down the street in a place that feels really, really good. Okay? It really is fabulous advice. I've been giving it out ever since I heard it. It's a really, really good way of looking at it. And I see all these good things coming your way, but the scary part for you is that it will involve change. And since you are a Pisces, you aren't, change happens to you, but you're not really good at jumping for it, are you? It's kind of like, oh, do I have to? But once you get into it, you generally flourish on your way through it. So what's your specific question?
Well, my question is, I have just recently retired from my main career.
Yeah.
And I'm a young retiree. So I guess what my question is if I just follow what I'm feeling good doing right now, will that be enough?
Yeah. The first thing I want to say is that you have, well, let's be a little more specific about this. You have a natural gift for finances that you may not be aware of. Okay? I don't know what you were doing when you were working, but if they put you in charge of the purse, they would have had money at the end of the day. Okay?
That's what I did.
Right. Okay. And, here you are, of course, worried about the finances because you're this young retiree and, am I going to have enough money in the bank to be able to last forever and ever and ever? And boy, am I getting downloads right now, some of which you guys aren't going to like. Not you specifically, I mean, the ubiquitous you, everybody who's on the call. Our monetary system all over the world is getting ready to change. It's going to be very different in a few years from what it is right now. And what used to be true and, like this is the only way to survive isn't going to work that way anymore. At any rate, I'm not going to worry about it too much, but I wouldn't throw your money away. What I'm looking at here is you being a very good budgeter, and you don't throw money away, and you're a wonderful planner. You're also a scrapper, which is kind of interesting for a Pisces. You like to get in there and roll up the shirt and do whatever you have to do to make it happen, and you turn that little rocket fuel on, and man, you really go after what you want and make it happen. So the answer to your question is this big, humongous wow, yes. And, you're probably going to end up doing a whole lot more with these quote unquote things you like that you're just playing with than most other people would do with a whole career. Okay?
Okay, good to know.
Develop a whole new career out of what you enjoy. Surprise, surprise.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is going to work for you. And of course, everybody around you is saying, oh boy, was that foolish. You could have, you could have, you could have. Don't you love all those negative people you attract? Um, and, that just goes with, Neptune's going through Pisces, and just say, yeah, well, that works for you. It's okay. Be happy.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Hey, you have a happy, wonderful holiday season. And thanks for
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Lisa, who's next?
All right, our next person is going to be Maddie. And Maddie, it says you're self-muted. Can you unmute?
Hi.
Hi there, Maddie. Nice to speak with you.
How exciting I get to talk to you.
Yeah.
What am I most grateful for?
And where are you coming from?
Oh, I'm living in Redding. I'm from San Francisco.
Oh boy, the other end of the country from me, but beautiful there, isn't it? Nice weather you guys have been having.
Yeah, we have a lot of sun, but lately it's rained a little bit, which we're most grateful for. So
yes, that's your good weather.
I know. I'm on the cusp of Pisces and Aquarius. I'm on 221. And what's the other thing I need to say? I'm most grateful for being on the planet at this time.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
So I feel that.
Yeah.
It's got its bumps. So
and I agree with you so much. There are so many times I say, oh my goodness, that when I decided to come in to the cusp really of the 20th and the 21st century, did my higher self really know what the world was living with, that I was going to get witness to? It's like, why did I choose to be here now? And then another part of me says, wow, you chose to be here now. Just look at what's happening. Yes.
I know.
Yeah, it's exciting. It is exciting to be alive now. So, being that you're right on the cusp, but you really are Pisces, aren't you? You're close to Aquarius, but you're really Pisces. Yes?
I see the Aquarian side of me, my aloofness, my big picture frame of reference, my disregard for tradition, some other things. I'm a humanitarian.
But you're a Pisces.
Okay.
Now, my guides could be wrong. The signs change somewhere between the 19th and the 22nd of the month. It's not always on the same day. So I would actually have to have an ephemeris or cast your chart to know for sure. But they're saying she's Pisces. She just has, she has a big view of Aquarius, but she's Pisces, meaning that you don't know how to say no to people. Among other things, you're learning. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. And you do, you're super, super emotional. And the Aquarians, see, if you were born with the sun, this is an astrology lesson, folks. If you were born with the sun in Aquarius, but a lot of Pisces planets or Pisces energy, you could still be emotional. But when it really came right down to it, within a second, you could drop that wall down and step back and be totally objective. And if you're more the Pisces with a little bit of Aquarius, you are not going to be able to do that. You'll have the ability to be objective. You'll have a strong mind. You'll see that big picture. But when a kid's dying in front of you, damn, you've got to get involved, and your tears are running down your face while you're doing it,
That's true.
Yeah, and there's the Pisces. Okay, you don't have the ability to step back when there's that emotional energy involved. And I kind of think of it like I was a Star Trek fan, and the original Star Trek, the Aquarius was Dr. Spock, or Spock, the lieutenant, and the Dr. McCoy, he was the Pisces. And if you think about them in your mind, you'll never confuse the two signs. You'll know when you're being which. Okay? Okay. But for you, when it comes to those issues, the Dr. McCoy part of you always wins out. Now, why was that important for me to discern whether you were an Aquarian or a Pisces? Because, since Neptune's going through Pisces, you are getting transit too. The difference between you and the two earlier polars is that Neptune went through Aquarius before it got to Pisces. And since you were on the cusp, you were dealing with that Neptune influence for, like 10 years before it crossed over your son. And now you're dealing with it, but I'm going to say on that higher level where you've learned not to believe everything you hear. You've learned to trust your intuition. You've learned to double check something before you jump to a conclusion or believe a piece of gossip. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
I.e., Neptune's been dealing out these lessons right and left, but you're a little ahead of the game because you were so much earlier in the sign, but the lessons are still there. I think it's kind of cool. You guys are getting a Neptunian lesson, and everybody here who's got planets in Gemini and Virgo and Sagittarius and Pisces is receiving that lesson pretty dead on. But everybody who's on the call, guaranteed, has some planets in one of those signs. Otherwise, it wouldn't be coming out with this kind of energy where we're all receiving it. And another interesting thing is that Neptune has just gone direct, and I'm saying like within the last 2 weeks. And so it is affecting all of us. And all of us are saying, okay, there's this intuition inside says, what next? Like, what rabbit's going to come out of the hat next? Because Neptune has that kind of feeling to it. Okay?
Yes.
Yep. So what's your specific question?
I'm having some physical challenge that I think can be remedied by cleaning my liver, and I'm hoping that's correct. And then I haven't been able to acquire some real good employment. I need some money to pay the bills.
I'm gonna throw a curve at you also. Have you had your heart, your thymus, that whole chest area? Have you had that looked at?
No.
Do that, okay?
Okay.
Because here's one of the interesting things that most people aren't aware of about the liver. Okay, a liver test is one of the easiest blood tests to do. Okay. Oh God, what I'm about to say, the medical system would fry me for. But if a doctor does a liver blood test, in almost every human being, that liver count is going to be high. Because the instant you have any kind of infection in your body, i.e. you stubbed your toe, you have a sinus infection, you have a sore tooth, you ate the wrong thing last night so your digestion's a little backed up, as soon as you have a little tiny infection in your body, your liver count's going to go up. So that's going to give the whole medical system the opportunity to dig further and run more tests and make more money from you. Okay? So the mere fact that your liver count is high only means there's some kind of infection going on in your body. It could be anything. It could be anything. It could be a really major infection that's important. Or it could be that you ate the wrong thing. Big deal. So it's important to look at other things and not assume that it's the liver. Okay? But the reason I want you to see what I'm saying here, you show up as, most of Pisces is located here and Neptune is here in the 8th house. So this would be the first. The 6th house is the house of health. So what I'm going to do is what we call spinning the wheel in astrology. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Leo is on the cusp of this house. That's your heart. Leo rules the heart and the whole chest area around the heart. So is it possible that you've got some kind of little infection going on there that's giving you a high liver count? At any rate, just have that checked out as a just in case. And Neptune, of course, itself rules all kinds of body fluids. So you could be eating something or drinking something or having a new allergic reaction you didn't know you had, and Neptune itself could be creating that high liver count. Am I making sense to you?
Yes, they said I had a cyst attached to my liver.
Ah, okay, and there's the thoracic cavity, there's the cyst. Now, is that cyst? Yes. And is it something which will go away naturally? No. Should you have it removed? My guides are saying, don't you love it? That's up to you. Will it get bigger if you don't have it removed? No, It's just going to be there. Okay. How do you feel about it?
Okay. I feel like I want my liver to be in good shape because I think it has many functions that could restore my health.
And I agree with you.
Yeah.
The liver is, your liver is one of the body's major defenses against infection. And we pick up these little infections all the time. This is going to be wild, and I'm not a medical doctor. This is just stuff I've picked up over the years. But your eliminations, that means bowels and bladder, your spleen that purifies the blood, your liver that it purifies. Basically, it's the last stage of purification before the blood system goes into the bladder. Sweat, and believe it or not, your lymph glands. Those are the body's ways of dealing with keeping itself clean, toxins. And so anything you can do to keep those systems clean is going to make you a lot healthier. So you're smart.
Yes.
Very, very smart. And can I ask you, are you or have you been involved with the medical system in a professional way? Because you obviously are researching these things and you have a very fine mind for this.
Yes, I was in biotech for 25 years, and I really enjoyed it because I feel like a natural researcher.
Yeah. And now, can I ask also, are you a writer? Because my guides are saying you need to take your knowledge and put it together and write it, because you have the ability to put it together in a way that the lay person is going to understand, and it can help a whole lot of people.
Okay, so I've been thinking about putting together a seminar on dying. That's the only thing that I've had a desire to do. Otherwise, my mom was a writer. She was a poet and a novelist, and she just passed.
Yeah.
But I've never really written.
I think you're going to. Give it a shot. Number one, I wanted to show you this too. You're learning a little astrology along the way. One, the third house is writing. So spinning the wheel again. Here's your first house. 1, 2, 3. That's your mom who just passed. Moon is mom. Uranus is just sudden, unexpected. Okay. There's mom who just passed. Who was the writer in the family? Guess what? You can channel mom, and mom can help you write. And you have all this information on death and dying, and also keeping the body healthy of toxins through all these different systems and how to do it, because you've been doing it. Point made?
Yes.
Mom's going to help do it.
It seems like she's been in a cocoon since she passed, and just recently I think she stood up from fetal position, but I haven't been able to get direct, clear communication from her yet.
Well, yeah, you have.
I have?
Yes, you have. You're on this call, aren't you?
Yes. Yes.
You know, what's interesting is people expect that when somebody dies and they begin to communicate, it should be just like one person talking to another. But it doesn't work that way. They're on a more subtle level. And when they're talking to you, it's on such a subtle level that unless you're really, really astute, you're not going to recognize it as their thoughts as opposed to yours. You're suddenly going to have an urge to go to this, crazy little webinar with Sandy Anastasi. Okay. Or you're going to have an urge to start writing a book on death. And all the things maybe that mom went through that kept her alive and healthy as long as she did, even though she died suddenly. Isn't that interesting? So, yeah.
It's true. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Hey, good luck and have a wonderful holiday season.
You too, Sandy.
Thanks. Bye-bye. And Lisa, who is next on our list?
All right, our next victim is going to be Bernie. And Bernie, you're unmuted.
Hello? Hello, Bernie. You need to talk. You've been called on. I have a feeling Bernie might have stepped away from the mic, Lisa. So let's...
All righty, we will pick on somebody else then. Let's go down to Judith. Judith, you're unmuted.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Judith.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. So, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Pennsylvania.
Oh, we're getting
I am
all over the country today. And
I'm a Capricorn,
uh-huh.
and I am most grateful for my family. And just went to see White Christmas on the big screen, so that was awesome.
Oh, that must have been amazing. Yeah. Hey, that would be my grateful one too. I like that. That's awesome to do that. So here you are in this chart. And, you know, if I don't think you've got issues yourself, although we all have some little niggling things, but I do think you've got some real concerns for other people in the family, both who have passed and who are here. You know, you're right now, I don't know if this is actuality or the way you feel, but right now you're really feeling as if the burden for taking care of everyone and everything is falling on you. So I'm also very grateful that you got to go and see White Christmas on the big screen, because I think you really needed that rest. A little vacation in the middle of the movie theater. How nice is that? You know, I know that the responsibility for family and friends, I think of that as family of choice. Sometimes it's an enormous burden, but you're also grateful for having those people with you and caring for them and knowing that you're a part of that group. And I just see so much personal growth for you in everything that's going on in your life right now. And yeah, it's heavy. You've got a whole lot of stuff going on. You've got family changes. You've got health issues. You've got job changes and job changes for other people in the family that are shifting jobs. Usually good, by the way. I think those job changes are leading to more money and better positions. You've got old situations in the family that are returning that you have to deal with and try to turn, you know, make lemonade out of the lemons, and it seems to be working. There's a lot going on. What's your specific question? This is a time of healing.
Actually, I think you actually hit a lot of it. I think a lot of those burdens I bring upon myself with the family because I worry so much, especially with my children. But I guess my specific question was going to be about a job change. I like the jobs I'm at. They're 2 part-time jobs, but I'm just looking, should I change or should I just wait for right now?
Well, and you know, my guide is saying the likelihood is that you are going to wait for right now. But that's not it. I don't like you having used the word should. When people use the word should and they're asking me a question, it's like they're asking my guides to tell them what to do. And my guides will never tell you what to do. They're really slippery. Okay. They will, however, tell you what you're most likely to do. And if you have like if you said, can I make more money at this job or that job? If I change now, would I be happier? If you ask the specific like that, they'll give you the answer. But when you say, should I change jobs now or should I just hang in there? They're going to say you're probably just going to hang in there because that's the greatest likelihood of what you're going to do. But do you want to be more specific about that and maybe get a more accurate answer for what you were looking for?
Well, I keep looking and I'm not seeing anything that attracts me. So I was just thinking, you know, maybe it's just not time. That's, you know, it's just not my time yet. I need to hang in there.
Well, again, I don't like to use the word need to. See, you tend to see the world in terms of, well, I had to do this. It was what we had to do, or it's what we should do. You know, you get all that Capricorn energy going on. And my guides would like to see you more self-empowered, i.e., if you really wanted to leave now, there's a job there that you could take and you could turn lemonade, you know, in no time at all, and it would be a great job. But are you happy where you are right now? In which case, where you're at. Do you see?
Yes.
Yeah. See, they're not seeing anything better than where you're at right now. You might find something for more money if money was your focus.
It is.
Right. So I think if you look for something that had better pay, you might find something that initially you might take a little bit of a loss, or at least be, you know, I don't see the loss in terms of money, but maybe in travel distance, you know, it might be like feeling like it's a step back, but because there's no ceiling on it, your ability to make more money is going to be there, and maybe to do it with just one job instead of two. So that potential is there. So that would say if you want that, if the whole reason is money, keep looking. But if you want to just stay where you feel happy and comfortable, well, this job is fine. Maybe not for permanent, but for now, do you see?
Okay.
Yeah. But they
Because I feel lost, you know, with all of it, and it could just be everything that you did mention was going on.
Yeah, I think the reason, it's exactly the case. I think the reason you feel lost, and here again, I'm going to be blunt, you know, you've been the person who's done the jobs, done what you had to do to make all the ends meet and make everybody happy. You've been there for everybody. You've taken care of everybody forever. There's all the stuff that's going on that you really don't want in your head, and you know you need to pull back from it, but you can't because your whole life has been taking care of everybody. And you're kind of wanting the career or the job that's going to fill that space. That's
Right.
what you're really looking for. So you're not really looking for a money job. You're looking for a job that's going to be the family, that's going to fill that space. Now, I'm going to ask, if you look hard enough, long enough, will you eventually find that job? And my guides are saying, yes, you will. But that's not the one that's going to be, wow, I'm leaving to get more money.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
It's also
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's also not where you are, though. Okay?
Okay.
Where you are isn't, I mean, you have friends there, it has, and you're well liked, but it's not the job that's going to be, it's not going to become your family. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Same to you.
You're welcome. And Lisa, we're going to take one more person because I was a little slow tonight on a couple of people. I took longer.
Well, actually, Miss Anastasia, you have done the impossible, and you have read everyone who had their hand up. And there are no questions in the chat room. So
Really? Okay. Then I guess it is time. I've done the impossible, and I was all ready to do that one extra person. So guess what? Anybody who didn't get a reading, feel free to email me with your one question, and I'll do my best to get it answered in the next week or so. I'm a little slow right now because of all the holiday preparations you can see around me, behind me. I want to wish you all a very lovely, happy holiday. I'm excited about our new year. I hope to see you on my webinar, What's Coming in 2020. And certainly, I hope to see you back here next month. The Psychic Hour, remember, January 5th, 2020. Oh, I can't believe it's almost 2020. I just want to keep saying that. Wow. So long, everyone. Good night, and thank you all for coming. Bye-bye.